What do you guys think about this? I mean, are games unnecessarily longer nowadays? Like, I know most of you are going to disagree. I know for most of you, the longer the better. And I'm talking about all genres, not just RPGs. You know, people like me on our mid-30s, you know, we come from a time where video games on the NES lasted for an hour, for half an hour, 30 minutes and you were done. 1 hour and you were done, maybe 2 hours. And nowadays it seems like every single game, even platformers, even puzzle games, you know, they go for 4, 5, 6 hours. You know, I recently, about a month ago, I beat a game called... I beat this game about a month and a half ago. Was it a month ago? I'm not too sure. But anyway, this is Shantae, Half Genie Hero. I love this game. This is an amazing game. I strongly recommend this game to you guys. It's a platformer. I've covered this game in this channel, actually. It's a platformer with some RPG elements. And that's another thing I want to talk about. So, are games unnecessarily longer nowadays? Do you know how many hours it took me to beat this game? It only took me 6 hours. 6 hours. But, you know, going back to my point, it's a platformer. Why did it take me 6 hours to complete? Well, it's because I think most gamers nowadays want the longer the games, the better for them. You know, because games are more expensive nowadays. You know, these platformers used to be, I don't know, $20 back in the day, brand new, complete in box. Whereas nowadays, every single game in existence is $80 release date. When they launch, you know, it's $80 or $60. You know, it's ridiculous, you know, but times have changed. Those $20 from 30 years ago are the equivalent nowadays of $80 maybe. So $20 back then was still expensive. So, which leads me to my question, you know, why is people so obsessed with getting a really long experience? Like, why can't this be? I'm not complaining, you know, I love those 6 hours. And like many of you who probably beat this game, ironically, I'm going to contradict myself right now. Ironically, I was expecting a little bit more. When I beat this game, I was like, oh, come on, no, that's it. You know, I want more. But when I personally say, I know most of you go for side quests and content and completionist and whatever. When I say, I want more, it means I want more story. Like, want more new places to go, to explore. Okay? Not side quests. But that's the problem, you know, it seems today that a lot of people just want more side content. Whereas, you know, games end up being 80% side content, side quests, optional stuff, trophies, completionist crap, instead of story. Because, you know, I just beat Xenoblade Chronicles 2, right? Thank you, Matthew. Thank you very much. So, I just beat Xenoblade Chronicles 2 for the first time ever. Last week, and I made a video, and you guys probably watched that video, that rant. I made 38 hours and 40 something minutes. Yeah, I know. You guys are gonna be like, what? You barely touched the game. No, sir, I beat the game and I completed the game. But, did I skip all side content? Yes, and I've seen people putting this game, putting, I don't know, 80 hours, 100 hours, and I'm like, what the fuck did they do with the game? Well, they did all the side stuff, all the optional open world stuff, and they probably played the game on the hardest difficulty. So that's how people put so many hours into a game, which leads me to believe, you know, that this is some kind of I didn't prepare this topic, but it just makes me think that this is some kind of marketing strategy from companies, you know, to give more and more and more and more and more to the player. But you guys don't notice that this more and more and more is optional stuff. It's just side content and probably DLC. If people want to get all the blades in Xenoblade Chronicles, they want to get Cosmos, they want to get this other special blade, and you know the DLCs have blades from, well, the characters from Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and X. You know, so I get it, you know, they want to put as many hours as they can. They want more content. That's the term I was looking for. The more content, the better. For them, for most gamers nowadays, for most of you. And I get that, you know, but I'm happy with my 38 hours and 45 minutes. You know, I'm happy with my 6 hours. I feel this game, well, I wish, me personally, because it has RPG elements, I wish it could have been longer, you know, but at the same time, to prove my point, it should have been shorter. It should have been 3 hours or 4 hours, and that's it. So games have gotten longer. Every genre, even racing games. I mean, there's already open world racing games. Forza, for example, it's like you can put as many hours as you can. It's an open world game. It's infinite, like Grand Theft Auto. It never ends. So, what do I think about this? What do I think about that? Is this affecting the gameplay? I mean, is this affecting the gaming industry? No, I don't think so. It's just I do feel like games are going to keep being longer and longer and longer. Eventually, you will have one game to last for the entire year, just one game. But then this leads to another discussion, which is you guys have a huge amount of backlog, right? So just put this into perspective. I mean, if you have 100 games in your backlog, and each and every single one of them is as long as Xenoblade Chronicles, as long, because you could put hundreds of hours into them. Dude, my dude, you're gonna die before you finish those 100 games, You're gonna play maybe 50, and the other 50 are just gonna be there. What are you guys, shelf collectors? Or video game collectors, there's a difference. So it's a contradiction, right? It's like we need to sit down and decide what we really want to do, and if I really want to put this many hours into this game, or if I just focus on the main story and move to this one. Because, like I said, going back one last time to this example, it's just I'm a victim too of that, I think this game should have been shorter, but in a contradictory way, I felt these needed to be longer. So it's happening to me too. But anyway, I'm starting to make no sense, but you get the idea. I mean, you get my point. That's my point. Games are starting to get longer, and they will continue to get longer. Is this a good or a bad thing to the game industry? I don't know, but all I know is that I see a lot of people getting a lot of games, and they probably will never have the time to finish them all.